Piccalilli is one of those preserves that seems to disappear during wintertime and then mysteriously reappear again during the summer. It's sweet, it's tangy, it goes with all sorts of things. And as I've said before in the handmade way, we're here to try and start producing more of the stuff that we buy. So I've always loved Piccalilli. I bought a tub of it the other week to see if the kids liked it, if the rest of the family liked it. And it was safe to say it's a success. So now I'm going to have a go at trying to make my own Piccalilli, see if I can get it as close as possible to the shop bought version, and if I can, what vegetables I need to start growing in the garden next year to make my own homemade Piccalilli. Let's get started.
All the ingredients are on screen now, and I'll also put them in the pinned comment and in the full written article on the website. First, I'm going to wash and prep all my veg. I'm doing this the night before, which I'll explain why in just a second. Now I'm using 150 grams of carrots, peeled and chopped into about 2 centimetre chunks. 150 grams of cucumber, skinned and chopped to about the same size. And I'm using 150 grams of shallots, but ordinary onion would be fine, and I'm dicing mine, but again sliced would be fine if you find that easier. 100 grams of green beans. These are the classic component of traditional Piccalilli. I'm just cutting off the ends and into 2 centimetre chunks. And finally, 450 grams of cauliflower, which looking back at, I cut way too chunky. I was obviously getting a bit tired. But these should be cut to about the same size as everything else, so up to 2 centimeters rather than mini trees like I've done here.
Don't get too hung up at this stage about the types of vegetables that are going in. So like I'm using carrots, for example. If you don't want to use carrots, use something else. But just for this particular recipe and the weights and measurements that I'm going for, just keep your vegetables to 1 kilo or under. And I would strongly suggest still staying to the 400-450 grams of cauliflower, just because that is the traditional main ingredient of a UK Piccalilli. But for example, I've swapped out courgette for cucumber, because cucumber is something that we have in the house more routinely than courgette. It's your Piccalilli, do what you want, just stay under 1 kilo.
So why we're doing this the night before? Well, once they're all chopped up, we add them to a pan, give them a good mix, and then we need to cover with 40 grams of sea salt and leave in the fridge overnight.
Now usually I avoid recipes that have things that need to be done overnight or the day before, just because for me it doesn't fit into my day-to-day routine, and so I'd imagine for most people watching this, you don't really have the forethought to start something the night before you're going to make it. But with Piccalilli, it is important to have the vegetables crispy rather than going soggy, and to be able to get that effect, you need to salt the vegetables at least 4 hours before, but ideally overnight. So what that's going to do, if I remember my chemistry correctly, I believe the salt is hydrophilic. I may have just made that word up. Correct me in the comments. The salt's going to pull the water out of the vegetables, so when we do come around to cooking the vegetables tomorrow, what will happen is the moisture content will be so low in the vegetables that when we cook them we'll end up with those really, really crunchy vegetables in the Piccalilli. So that's why I am doing this bleary-eyed late at night, so I can make this tomorrow.
Last tip, if you can only get chunky sea salt, you can use a pestle or a grinder to make it finer for easier coating.
So I've always concurrently sterilised my jars anyway, but with making Piccalilli, because it cooks so quickly, you've got to make sure your jars are ready for when the sauce is finished, so you can hot jar them. I suppose it wouldn't be such a problem if you was going to process your Piccalilli, but generally with a lot of my preserves, I don't bother processing them, I just hot jar them. I do plan on explaining some of these terms and things in a preservers basics video that I've got coming out. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff.
Now the veg has been sorted overnight, it needs rinsing, so pour into a colander and thoroughly rinse under a tap. Once you're happy, leave it to drip dry for a good 10 minutes or so, and while that happens, we're going to start the sauce. Throw in 35 grams of corn flour. This is going to give some thickness to the sauce, and 25 grams of English mustard powder for the signature bright yellow colour and punch. I'm also adding 2 teaspoons of ground turmeric, half a teaspoon of ground ginger, and 150 ml of our cider vinegar, keeping the other 450 ml for later. Then give it all a good whisk until it is well mixed and gone frothy. In another pan, add the remaining 450ml of cider vinegar, 2 bay leaves, make sure you don't leave these in when you jar it. Measure out 15 grams of yellow mustard seeds and 1 teaspoon of coriander and 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. Give it a good stir, then put on a low simmer for 3 to 4 minutes to allow the seasoning to diffuse into the vinegar. Then mix in the second half of the sauce and simmer for a further 4 to 5 minutes, stirring regularly so it doesn't catch. Once it can thickly coat a spoon, it's good to go and it's time to sift out those bay leaves.
You could sift out the bay leaves after you've cooked it all and added the veg, but I think that's going to be like finding a needle in a haystack, so I remove it at this point. And it gives me an excuse to do a quick taste test of it as well, which it's good.
Lastly, add your washed and dried veggies and mix. Ensuring you coat well, then cook on a medium heat for 5 minutes and voila! Beautiful piccalilli ready for jarring.
I think yours is better.
Nice. Good?
That's lovely. I'd eat that with rice.
So if you've made this before, you'll probably notice that I cut the vegetables way too chunky. That's the problem with prepping this the night before. I was a bit tired, wasn't really paying attention. So make sure when you make this yourself, you cut them to about 1.5 centimetres in size for the florets and the carrots and everything. Because of that, I've had a load left over that wouldn't fit in the jars. But the wife and kids have just been enjoying it out of the tub, so it's fine. So as you can see, it's perfectly fine to eat straight away. But if you can wait, if you leave it in a cool, dark place, ordinary cupboard for about 4 weeks, you'll find that the flavour will mature a bit and it will taste its best. This is a shelf-stable preserve, so it should last fine in the cupboard for 3 months. Obviously, once it's opened, keep it in the fridge, keep it refrigerated, and consume within about 2 weeks. But chunky or not, bloody tasty. If you found today's video helpful at all, do think about subscribing, liking, commenting, all that stuff. It really does help the channel grow. If you're looking for other preserving ideas, I really rate this sweet chilli jam over here, or YouTube thinks you'll like this one. Until next time, keep crafting self-reliance, one skill at a time.